What's going on, Clash Bashers? Rocky here today, and I'm here to talk to you guys about a tournament / challenge deck that I've been having quite a bit of success with, and I think some of you guys can have a lot of success with also. We're talking about an Expo deck with the current meta of basically everything giant poison, maybe even lava hounds, stuff like that. This deck has been defending really well, playing really well. You can kind of out defense your opponent, get some hits in, if anything, you got the rocket. So we're going to talk about the deck real quick. We got Elixir Collector, Tesla, Inferno Tower, Expo minions, just the 3-cost minions. I haven't experimented with Mega Minion, maybe that's something you could sub in there, but the 3-cost minion works really well. We got Rockets, Guards, and the Ice Spirit. Ice Spirit's obviously going to slow down opponents. Guards is a great defense card, especially against P.E.K.K.A.s, miners, stuff like that. Rocket, you're going to do a lot of direct damage. I'll even send Rocket at Elixir Collector sometimes, just so they don't get the Elixir advantage on me. Expo is going to be your main focus of the deck, getting that Expo down, dropping it and shooting over there and getting tons of damage in. You'll see some of that in the replays. Then we got the Inferno Tower to deal tons of damage out, especially to those Giants, Lava Hounds, Hog Riders, stuff like that. Tesla's a great defensive tower, and Elixir Collector to help us out. Expo was a deck that was really popular not too long ago, and I thought of it, I was like, maybe this will be something good. We were talking about it on a stream, I was like, let's try Expo, and then I started playing it and having a little bit of success with it, and I've been running in some tournaments and stuff. We're streaming tournaments every night on YouTube and Twitch, so definitely check those out. But let's get in some of these replays and show you guys how to defend against some of these. The first replay is Roko versus myself here. He's going to be playing Giant Bowler Poison, which is a really common deck you're seeing a lot of, especially in tournaments and challenges and stuff. And then obviously we're playing our Expo deck, so let's go ahead and get into the replay. Go ahead and start this up. So we don't have the best starting hand. We have an okay starting hand, especially, you know, drop the collector down and start building up some elixir. I like to try to build up elixir really fast with this deck and get that going. So he's going to drop Giant in the backfield, so I already know what's going on. He's got a Giant deck, whether it be Giant Prince, Giant Bowler, whatnot. So we know that he's got a Giant deck, so we got to defend. So I kind of come out aggressive here. I drop down the Tesla, drop the Expo, and try to just get a little bit of a jump on him. So the Expo is actually going to target his Giant. We're going to throw down some minions. Minions are going to go ahead and hit that Giant, work on the Giant a little bit, and switch off to the Bowler. So he's going to get quite a bit of damage off here. Maybe not the best play, but it was a decent play with our opening hand. Expo ends up locking onto the tower, and we get some damage in return. He gets our tower down by almost 1,000 hit points there, a little bit over 1,000 hit points. But we get our second collector down. Like I said, I want to really get that Elixir Collector working, get Elixir in our favor here. So pumping up, getting a lot of Elixirs built up. That way we can kind of out Elixir him mid and late game, which is really huge with this deck. So he drops down to Collector. I dropped down Ice Spirit because I didn't really have a great play there. Ice Spirit into the Expo with the Inferno, which is going to be a great defensive play there, especially with the Giant coming in with the Inferno. You see the Giant's just going to get melted with that Inferno. Drop down the Guards, which absorb the Ice Spirit, and Expo's on the tower doing some damage. He does drop the Giant or the poison on our towers, but not a huge deal. We still get quite a bit of damage there. We're going to send the Rocket at his Collector and tower. Not a bad move there because you might need that second tower anyway, so why not get some damage on it? His first tower is already under 1,000 hit points. He pumps up again, so do we. Pretty common stuff there. We want to make sure that we get that elixir advantage. So right now we're a little bit in the lead here. We got people cheering for us. I'm feeling pretty confident at this point. I know what he's playing. I know how to defend well against it. With the defensive towers, you can usually outpace this type of deck, especially if you can keep the elixir advantage. So he's going to drop down the Giant. Drop down the Bowler. We're going to drop down our minions. Minions are great against bowlers, guys, whether it be Mega Minion, Minion Horde, or just the 3-cost minions. So he's going to go ahead and take out our Expo there, but not a huge deal. We're going to go ahead and drop the Tesla. He's got a huge push coming in here, but we're going to drop a defensive Expo to help work on the Bowler. We're distract the Bowler with the Guards. Expo is going to work on the Musketeer and the Bowler right there. You see the Bowler goes down. He drops another Bowler, which we hit with our Expo again, which works out really well. Send over the Rocket to hit that tower for some damage. As you see, we're only one Rocket away from taking that tower out, which works out really well. He's back on our tower, but we drop the Tesla. Very nice defensive play. Really, you just got to outpace with defense. Throw down the minions rather, to defend there. And it's just really outpacing and cycling to our Rocket, which we get right there, and we barely get the win. Very close. But the Rocket does clutch it for us there. Very clutch win. But you can see we kind of outpaced him, played defense really well, got to our Rocket, and got the win. It was a little bit close, but it worked out really well. So let's go ahead and get into another. This time it's us against Kane, and this is a battle where you're going to see how huge the Rocket is in this deck. He's playing a hog kind of cycle deck, kind of I don't even know how to describe it. It's just a Hog Rider damage DPS deck. He's going to drop the Musketeer in the back there, and at that point I'm usually thinking that he's going to be playing Giant. Musketeers are in almost every Giant deck, it seems like. Either Giant or Trifecta. Those are really common plays there. So we kind of play it chill, let his Musketeer come over, drop down the guards so we can take out the Musketeer. She doesn't get any hits off, really good there. So we're sitting at full elixir, which isn't ideal, but it works out pretty well. One thing I do like about this deck is the Expo is really good at taking out princesses. It doesn't do it there, but you'll see that a lot in this game where the Expo actually takes out the princess and saves some damage on her tower. Right there it switches after he zaps, switches over to the princess, takes her out. So we're up a little bit early in this game as he sends over his miner and musketeer to get some nice damage off, dropping off the Inferno tower. But we're up a little bit, and then he takes the lead right there. So fell a little bit behind, and there goes that princess where we have to drop guards to defend, which is kind of a pain. You don't really want to use your guards there, but you got to get that princess down. You can't have the princess doing a bunch of damage. So we're going to pump up, and I like to spread the pumps out. That way, if they do, just send a fireball, rocket, poison, they're not going to be able to just like immediately take your pumps out. So he sends in that hog push again. We're going to Tesla. I was hoping to lure the hog over with the Tesla, but that hog was having none of it. So he's going to get this tower pretty low with the Ice Wizard shooting on it. This tower's really, really easy for him to get. So we're really far behind at this point, and I'm like, holy crap. But we're almost to that clutch double elixir time, which is going to be very, very helpful. So we're going to go ahead and Expo up. And if you can Expo and get the Inferno up, that's a really nice play that works really well in this deck. Either Expo Inferno or Expo Tesla just works out really well. So we're going to get the Expo on that tower, get some nice damage there. As you see, they're getting it almost down to 1,000 here. The Hog Rider comes in on the Inferno. Under 1,000 right there, almost down to 500. Nice. Alright, so down to 600 damage. We dropped the minions on the princess to try to take her out. Kind of wasted minions, but we dropped guards and Expo just to kind of defend there. Not the best play. The miner is going to go ahead and take our tower, but realistically we're only, an Expo or rocket away. Our rocket's going to hit like 500 something damage on that tower, which is really good. So if you can get it down there, you'd be good. So we're going to go ahead and take that tower with the rocket as time's getting down. We don't want to, lose this game because we didn't rocket a tower, which has happened to me before. I kind of get a little passive on the rockets, but don't be afraid to use those rockets and send them over because they're great damage. So at this point, the game's pretty much almost a tie. He hasn't gotten a ton of damage on our tower, and we haven't got any damage on his. So pretty close game at this point. We just got to come back a little bit, make some moves, make some things happen. So nice defense there where the hog gets no damage on the tower between the Inferno tower and the Tesla. The minion's going to take out the princess there. Ice Wizzy coming in. This was the first time we saw Barbs in this match. I was like, crap, what do we do against Barbs? He sends in the miner. We're going to throw down our Tesla, and we're kind of in a pickle here. Throw down our guards. We kind of just let the miner work his way through. So he gets quite a bit of damage there, which probably wasn't the best play by me. But now that we know he has Barbs, we got to learn how to defend those. So here comes the Barbs in again. We're going to drop Tesla, minions, and the Ice Spirit, which is going to be a really good way to defend those guys. As you see there, very good defense. And at this point, I'm kind of thinking like, man, I need to get some damage on this tower. So we're going to drop an Expo, like a really, really aggressive Expo on his side of the field, which works out really well. He sends the hog at it, but we already get the tower down pretty far. Send in the Inferno, and you just see that Expo gets quite a bit of damage. The the hog gets melted there. We're going to go ahead and just send over the minions to take out that princess. Keep pumping up. You see here, we're still dropping pumps. We're not like trying to give up our elixir advantage. You want to keep the pumps grinding. Send in our rocket at the Musketeer and Ice Wizard. Maybe not the best play there, but it actually works out really well. You see the Hog Rider goes down again as we zap there. Or he zaps us, rather. I mean, guards going in, Ice Spirit. And you just see this is a real back and forth battle. We're already almost 2 minutes into overtime, which is insane. So we got our Expo locking onto the Ice Wizard, working over there. Here comes another Hog Rider. Like I said, the Hog cycle type decks can be a real pain. You just got to stay on your defense. As you see here, we just keep working the defense. Don't give up on it. And just keep grinding through. So drop down another Expo. As you see there, Expo takes out the Muskie, locks onto the tower, gets some damage. We send in our rocket, which gets that tower down into one more rocket range. So if we get one more rocket, we're definitely going to win it. I mean, 83 hit points is nothing. If we can get the Expo to lock on real quick there, or drop one more rocket, we definitely have this game. Our tower is still at 1200, so as long as we don't let any hogs through or do anything stupid, we'll be fine. But right there's the final rocket with almost 30 seconds left in overtime. So that was like a 5.5 minute game, which was insane. So hopefully that kind of shows you that the rocket is really clutch in this deck. Don't take your rockets for granted, and I kind of waited a little bit too long in that game, being so passive and defensive, that I could have been rocketed and probably could have had that game. Final battle is going to be me versus Asian Man, and you can see that he's playing a Royal Giant Sparky deck, which could be a real pain to go against. So we're going to go ahead and get this replay started and show you exactly what happens here. So the Royal Giant Sparky can be a real tough combo, especially if you can't, you know, out defense it and outplay it. So we've learned very quickly, as you see there, he's got his Royal Giant selected. We're going to pump up. Like I said, we want to get that elixir advantage. We see right away that he's got a Royal Giant, but luckily for us, we have our Inferno in hand, which is going to let us go ahead and take that Royal Giant down pretty fast there, and we still got plenty of health on our Inferno Towner. He hits us with the well played because he knows, oh, that was a good play. So we're pumping up, getting our nice elixir advantage here. We're going to go ahead and Expo Tesla, which is going to be very nice for us. There he drops the Sparky. I'm like, oh man, he's got Sparky too. He drops Mini P.E.K.K.A, which isn't a huge deal because we go ahead and get tons of damage off with the Expo. The Inferno and Tesla go ahead and take that Mini P.E.K.K.A out. He brings in the minions, but we already got his tower way far down. Look at this. We already got his tower down to 500, 550 there. So we're going to go ahead and try to defend this Sparky, which can be a hassle. We do pretty well there with the guards and the minion combo there, which works out pretty well. But his Musketeer does get through there. Musketeer on the tower can do a lot of damage, as you see there. So that actually works out really well for him. Kind of a pain for us. We're going to keep pumping up. You want to keep that elixir flowing, guys. I'm telling you, if you can keep the elixir flowing, which can be kind of hard, especially against giant poison decks, it's going to work in your advantage. Make them waste their poisons on other cards. Alright, so he puts his pump up there kind of in a real defensive position. I decided not to even defend this Mini P.E.K.K.A against the Expo. Put the Tesla down. It didn't really do a whole lot. But we do get his tower down to under 200. Minions taken down with the Tesla, so we're working pretty nicely there. We're just a rocket away, which you can see I'm contemplating, and I actually send the rocket at the pump. We don't want him gaining a nice elixir advantage. We're already in double elixir time. Realistically, we're only one rocket away. We're going to play an aggressive pump here to kind of keep him, you know, kind of back off. We know he has Royal Giant Sparky, so I figured that that pump will kind of keep his cards at bay a little bit. So Tesla goes down. I kind of played the Tesla a little bit early. I was hoping to wait just a second until that Sparky fired on the pump, but it didn't work out that way. Inferno works out pretty nicely there. Minions take out the Tesla, and down to 30 seconds left. So that was a really good defensive play there, and that's one of their favorable pushes, especially with that deck, where they get all that stuff just clustered in there and just work you real hard. So Royal Giant's on our Expo. Tesla's working we got two Expos shooting his Royal Giant. Mini P.E.K.K.A's there fighting the Tesla. We get all that taken care of, and we're just going to go ahead and rocket for the win. As you see there, rocket there, and we're going to go ahead and get the 1-0 win, and that's all you really need. If you can get one tower and defend, you're going to be in a really good position. So a very, very nicely played game there. He didn't get too much crazy damage on us. I think just that real Musketeer push there, where she got through by herself, was the only real good damage push for her. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Hopefully the Expo deck works out for you. Like I said, I think it's got a lot of potential. Some of you guys are a lot better players than I am. I've been doing pretty decent with it. If you catch people off guard with it, they're gonna be like, whoa, Expo, who plays Expo anymore? Some of the guys are kind of catching on stream that I am playing Expo, so they're kind of planning for it and knowing that it's coming. But I'm still doing really well with it. I've even won a few ladder matches. I'm not recommending this deck for ladder. I think it's more for the challenges and tournaments. Experiment with it. Do some of the small, cheap challenges that'll get you a real feel for it. So hopefully you guys liked today's video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a great day. Keep on Clash Bashing.